Hi, everyone. Welcome to What Would Cynthia Do? And yes, that's right. We have a name for the show now. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to hear what you thought of our new intro countdown clock. I know I was secretly jamming over here by myself watching that, but I may be a little biased. So, yeah, let me know who's here. Thank you all for coming. I did think that it was time to name this thing and kind of like make it official. It's actually our 13th show episode, whatever, of this show. So I was like, it probably should have a name so that people know what to call it, and I'm giving it like proper respect as a thing. So I can explain all about the title, What Would Cynthia Do, in a minute. Hi, Viana. Thank you. I'm glad you like the fancy intro music. Speaking of, yeah, I found that song through, like open source music in YouTube. And so the artist who composed and made that, his name is Quincas Morera. So support their Patreon if you feel like it. That artist has like some cool jams on YouTube for free if you ever need some background music. And the design was done by my amazing graphic designer, Mara Meeser of Sunbird Creative, who also did like my logo, my website, my book, and all the, the cover and the interior design. Mara's amazing. So Mara like largely made that graphic that you saw, and my spouse, Danny, added those corny like animations or whatever. And then I found the music, which really like helped pull it all together. The name, though, hey, Natasha, I'm glad you like the new intro. Hi, Ariana, welcome. The name, let me explain that a little bit. I worked with one of my favorite copywriters and folks to work with, Rebecca Carvalho. And we were like bouncing back a couple of ideas back and forth about like what to name the show. But over the years, people like clients and people who follow me on social media, on Instagram and stuff, have said to me before that like, after they work with me or like they consume enough of my stuff, my posts, my thoughts or whatever, they pretty much are able to internalize my voice like in their head. So when they're in a difficult situation, negotiating something, like deciding between options in your career or whatnot, they've told me that they will think like, okay, what would Cynthia do? And then they proceed to do that. So I figured that was a fitting enough reason to name the show that and make it official. Hey, Rebecca. Everybody follow Rebecca. Her copywriting and marketing acumen are excellent. So yeah, that's how this all happened. And since we do talk on this show about what I would recommend people do about different career things, What Would Cynthia Do seemed like an apt title. So thanks for coming. Everybody who's been here before, we do intros. So please feel free to intro yourself in the comments in the chat. Tell folks what your name and pronouns are, what you do if you feel like it, and one ask and one offer. Doesn't need to be a big deal. For those, can be super low key. The ask can be like, I need a TV show to binge watch over the holidays. What's good? Or the offer could be like, I listen to this great podcast, or I have this great tip that I just learned about. Here it is. My offer is that, and I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to tell you all. Hey, Jen. Okay. Well, Jen, all I'll say is Jen really did help me with the title idea as well. So my offer is I have put my one-time coaching sessions on sale from $150, which they normally are, to $99 only for a limited time, like from now till the end of the year, for folks who have also ordered my book, Don't Stay in Your Lane. So if you're interested in that, type a yes in the chat. I can PM you the details so that you can let me know, and I can send you the code to get that offer. December slots are all filled up, but I could do a few in January. So that's my offer. My ask is that you all fill out a quick poll. And I don't know if Carla is here, but I did want to find out from you all if you want to meet next time. If you want me to come back on here next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern or not. I'm here for both of it. Like, I've already blocked the time, so I'm happy to spend it with you all, but I know some folks might really be in like, holiday mode. So totally get that as well. So just tell me in the chat if you can, like, yeah, I want to meet next Wednesday, or let's go and let's take a break and just meet in January. And I know I'm saying like meet, but I mean, like, do you want a show next week or not? Hi, Lucic. Thank you for sharing your DEI practitioner work. Hello, Mark. And yeah, great offer, Lucic, that you can tell everyone all the shows to watch. I know sometimes we have our video and TV enthusiasts on here, so maybe they're here too. I don't know if Nicole Tawalda is here, or others. Okay, so keep introducing yourself in the chat so you all can connect, you know. I want you all to get benefits out of this besides listening to me tell you what I would do. Thank you, Rebecca, for introing yourself. I'm so glad you liked the intro. Yeah, great. So as we do that, we're also going to go right into our second segment, which is called How Are You Doing? You know, so I always like to check in with everybody and just get a quick temperature check. So let me know, 2 words. How are you feeling right now? I am a little amped up because I was so excited to share unveil the name of the show and the intro countdown. But in general, I feel like I am hurtling towards the end of the year. Like, it reminds me of that movie Speed, that old movie. I think that's what it's called. What's his name? Keanu Reeves, trying to stop like an out of control train or boat, I think, in one of the sequels. Anyway, that's what I feel like I'm on. Like, just this car or train or vehicle is out of my control, going right towards the end of the year. And yeah, I would like to pause that. So that's what this today is about, because we're going to be talking about year-end reflections, which is a great time to hit pause and think about some things. So we will get into that. But yeah, let's see. Viana, project manager in commercial real estate development. Thank you so much for introing yourself. Viana is a regular of the show, now called What Would Cynthia Do? Thanks, Lucic, for sharing that you're both pumped and tired. I really resonate with that. Oh, great. Congrats on paneling on the webinar. Let us know what it was all about and if there's a replay available, how people can watch that. Okay, so keep putting your 2 words in the chat. I am going to hurtle forward and forge ahead into the topic of the day, which is, as you know, oh, that was very low. Had my volume turned down really low. It's year-end reflection. Can you hear? Oh man, this is not. There you go. Year-end reflection. Wow, I really need to work on my timing for these sound effects. Nevertheless, we are going to talk about 2020 and of course 2021, which is right around the corner. So hear me out. I know this year was, wow, it was a lot. It was like everything compressed into one. So many lows, so much loss, so much grief, so much mourning and transitions and unexpected things that we had to deal with. And also, you know, I'm sure we all had wins and victories and everything too. You know, even if it is simply the fact that you have survived until today, that is like totally not a given, especially in a year like this. Hi, Tiara, welcome. Thank you for introing yourself. So keep doing those intros and the check-ins in the comments, everyone. So anyway, in a year like this, I feel like it's especially important to just like take stock and appreciate what we all have gone through, continue to process like the grief, the shock, the trauma that you may have gone through or that we are still kind of going through. So much anxiety, you know, even if things didn't happen personally to you, like this year has touched everybody, you know, in terms of all the stress or like anxiety people around us. So yeah, we should do a little reset is the idea behind this year-end reflection. So I'm going to talk about this in the next few minutes. Please put your comments and your questions in the chat though, because I'm going to come back and check on those and make sure I answer everybody's questions. And I also want to know, like, I know there's lots of folks here who probably already have their own practices and rituals around reflecting on the year end or reflecting periodically. So let's share knowledge. You know, what do you like to do? What works for you? What questions do you like to ask? What things do you like to do? in these moments when you pause, take stock, and figure out how to go where you want to go, right? Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so we're gonna work off of this, which is by the way, this is from my website, my blog over here, and my latest blog post was these 5 questions that I like to ask myself at the end of the year. And because 2020 was so special, I really had to switch around the questions this year because I felt like the old ones really didn't work as well. So let me share with you what they are. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is like, we'll vote in the comments which one is our favorite one. And then we can dive into that together. All right. So normally, like in past years, I would have asked, when I think back on this past year, what am I proud of myself for? But for this year, I've really changed it to focus on the wins, because even the smallest win, I feel like is much more significant this year, given everything we had to deal with. So the question for 2020 is, what are the wins that I had, however big or small, despite 2020 being what it was? Second question, what lessons did I learn in 2019? So this one, I've shifted a bit to be, how have I grown this past year? What were all the points at which I could have given up, but I kept going instead? Because, you know, I've just talked to so many women of color, clients, other folks who, you know, it's just been like such a huge struggle this year. And then I think back and I'm like, you know what? This person made it through, you know, this bump in the road, that huge negative thing that impacted them, family getting sick, family dying, you know, like at each of those points, they could have just been like, you know, fuck it, I'm throwing in the towel. I can't take yet another L on this. And just would have stopped going towards whatever they were going towards. And I'm not saying don't take a break either. Like that can definitely be a win sometimes. But it just seemed to me that like this version of the second question for this year really should have acknowledged like we kept going despite it all. Okay, third question. What surprised me from this past year? Well, since everything was surprising in 2020, pretty much, I changed it to, how did I react to events outside my control this year? Because there sure were a lot of them, but we're always responsible for how we respond and what we do in response, right? Okay, number 4, how do I want to feel in 2020? I kept this the same because I think, so the question is obviously, how do I want to feel in 2021? Because I still think it's really important that we be able to like visualize and internalize and feel how we want to feel in the future, because that's where you're going to draw your motivation from when times get tough, right? So I want us to all think about like, where do you really want to be? And that's like the whole why behind why you then have to do the things that maybe you don't really want to do, because maybe they're kind of a slog, and maybe they involve like revamping your cover letter, or, you know, having to address some difficult stuff internally or whatnot. So the feelings, I think, are always really important because we make our decisions based on emotions. And so if you keep a hold of that feeling that you do want, it'll help you get through the feelings that you don't want to experience. And lastly, what do I want most when I think about 2020? I changed that to, what growth do I want to experience in 2021? What milestones do I want to reach next year? Okay, so I can't see the chat right now because I'm like sharing my screen, but please tell me in the chat, do you want us to dive into question 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Or I'll keep these up here so you all can see them. But whichever question gets like the most votes, then we will dive into that one. And I'll give you some thinking music. The good old elevator music we use. So as you think about that, I'll tell you that the way I like to do my end of year self-retreat is I actually get away from all my screens. That's number 1. Turn off notifications, all that. And I have like big pieces of like art paper, and I have these nice, you know, Sharpie markers or whatever, and they're colorful and whatnot. And then I sit on the floor over here and I spread out all my stuff. And then I look at what I'd done the year before and like assess where I got based on what I was thinking last year, and see like, oh, wow, how have I changed my thinking? Or like, how did I smash my goals? How did I decide those weren't the goals I wanted to go for? How did I maybe not reach some of the goals I wanted? And then I do a bunch of like brainstorming and, you know, free thinking, journaling, and like goal setting for the next year. Yeah, and it's all kind of like experimental. So And then like some of the things I then put up on my wall over here. So I'm like always looking at it throughout the year and I can ground myself in that. So I know if I'm going the right way or not. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay, so we got to go for 5. Oh, thanks, Fiona. A workshop on like year-end stuff. Let me know what you were thinking. Let's see. Oh, thanks for sharing the blog link, Rebecca. All right, Lucic wants 1 or 2. Viana is voting for 5, so I need a couple more votes to break this tie. Keep thinking about it. Oh, and tell me also, like, what do you like to do for your year-end reflections or your midway through the year reflections, whatever it may be. Got another vote for 5. Okay, I'm going to give y'all a few more seconds, and we'll see if we're going to go with 5 or if someone else is going to throw their vote in for either 1 or 2 along with Lucic. All right, let's see. All right, another vote for 5. Okay. So let me stop that. Everyone loves 5. Okay, great. Thank you, Rebecca, Viana, Ariana for voting, Natasha, and Lucic. All right, let me throw up number 5 on here so we can see. Yeah, and that's such a great one because it's just like keeping your eyes on the prize for next year. Okay, so the question is, what growth do I want to experience in 2021? What milestones do I want to reach next year? All right, so I'm going to give you all like 60 seconds or 90 seconds to start like thinking and writing about this on your own. And then let's come back and feel free to share in the chat also what you are thinking. And then we'll talk about it because I want to do this too. All right, put on a timer for us. I'm gonna give you like 30 more seconds. Okay, so let's see. Lucic has dropped something awesome in the chat, which I always love. You know, women of color making more money because money is power. Let's face it, in capitalism, which y'all know I'm an anti-capitalist, but I do believe in us making more money so that we can influence the world how we want to. So yeah, making money. So Lucic, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit, but like not fully on the spot. Think about literally what numbers, right? And you probably already have. But whatever it is, sometimes I find with a lot of my clients and other women of color, we get, you know, we have a lot of feelings around money and it can like stop us from thinking in actual terms of dollars and percentage growth and all of that stuff. So I would encourage you and anyone else for whom like financial growth, whether it's from a salary or from your business revenue, like put dollars on that. And then also like make sure you have someone who's pushing you too, you know, because sometimes I think like I've had this so much this year. I'm just going to share like with my business, like, and I encounter a lot of women of color who say this too. It's like I didn't get into this work for the money, you know. The limiting fact of that is that like it's, you know, sometimes we are using that to put the brakes on our own career, you know. And this year, with the help of my business coach, Maya Heradat, who is amazing. If anyone wants Maya's info, please PM me and I'll let you know. She's really, really helped me like just like bust open any barriers I had or limiting thoughts I had about the amount of money that I can make in my business. And for me, it was always like, I don't want to make money at the expense of clients I serve who are earning less money, because I feel like that only replicates systems I don't stand for. So I've always done this kind of radical thing, which is like have a sliding scale for my work. It's not even that radical, but like there's just not that many coaches who do that. But that's really important. I still like maintain that, but like I am now figuring out other ways to supplement my income in ways that still are aligned with my values and integrity, that allow me to earn more so that I can then pay women of color that I work with more, you know? So thinking about your why, Lucic, like why do you want to earn more money? Because that's going to keep you going when you feel like I don't want to do this stuff, you know, the business side to your, the business development stuff, the sales side to your work. You know, if that's not something that comes naturally to you, you're going to really need to have to power through. And I am speaking from personal experience. Of course, it's something I dread. And that's my 2 cents on this. Let's see. Viana says, I feel like I'll never actually make the time to do this, but I've definitely signed up for a workshop. Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, you know, we'll work on that, Viana. Like maybe part, I don't know if part of the growth you want to experience next year has to do with like investing in yourself and in your career, but yeah. Okay, Lucic, I need a job that pays. I'm learning to stop doing work for free. Oh yeah, rent is due. That's right. It's time for people to pay, especially for DEI work, which has for so long been not valued, you know? So yeah, let's see. Rebecca also said, I'd love to get more specialized projects. Something keeps drawing me to food, beverage, hospitality. Ooh, figuring out ways to commit to that. Okay, so Rebecca, you know about the collectress, right? On Instagram, Ashton, what's Ashton's last name? I can't remember. Yeah, I think also, oh yeah, I forgot I can do these things. That's so fun, right? Anyway, Ashton, just Google Ashton and the collectress, Collectress. Incredible thought leader in that space. So I would try to develop a relationship with Ashton if you don't already have one. She's super cool. I did an IG live with her once. Like huge font of knowledge, like just incredible person. So if there's a way in for you, she'd be a major player, I think. What else? Who we got? Yeah, no more free work. I mean, I'm also going to throw out here for anybody who is either a freelancer or really, really new and starting your business. If you're really trying to get work under your belt to get those first sets of clients, you can do a pro bono offering, but like at most for 3 people, you know, if you really, really have to, but just try to do it for at least, you know, lower rate, but something, you know, don't try to be doing work for free. It's not the way to go. And it's really hard to get out of that practice after a while. Ariana says, I'd love to hone in on my personal brand and be unapologetically myself in my work. Yes, I love that. Let me play you a little air horn. Yes, love it. So personal brand, I mean, Rebecca might actually have some helpful thoughts for you on that. I don't know. I feel like Rebecca has a great POV on that in terms of marketing and branding. I also do have a colleague who does a lot of personal branding stuff, Mariana Girgis. You can follow Mariana on Instagram at Vivaciously Marina is her handle. So check out her stuff. She has a lot of really helpful Instagram posts on there for that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Lucic. I mean, listen, don't beat yourself up. It's like I've done way more than my fair share of free work too, but I think the tides are changing on this and people are way more respectful. You know, I want to say of people of color and women of colors, work and not going to ask you to do things for free, but like people definitely still do. And it's just it's a boundary that we have to hold, you know, like always think about, if it ever bothers you, like think about, you know, maybe not a huge corporation, but like a company or even a small business that's like a mom and pop shop, right? Like people wouldn't go in there being like, hey, I like this product. Can I have it for free? Like what? No, like you would not go into, I don't know, Walmart or something and be like, that's really great. I love this item. I'm just going to take it for free. They would arrest you for shoplifting, you know? So just always remember stuff like that. We are also a business and people need to take our work seriously, and you need to fucking value what we do because we bring the value to the table, and you got to explain also the ROI to them. What is the return on their investment? What are they going to get out of working with you? Testimonials, social proof, all of that stuff really helps prove it. So you do have to do your part too, but part of it is also holding that boundary and not giving it away for free. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Who else wants to share anything about this last question, number 5, before we sort of, move on here? I'm glad you thought that was a good example, Lisa. I'm always reminding clients of that. Like, and also with like raising your rates over time, you know, because I raise my rates, you know, when it's 1 year going into the next, but I also have colleagues who have raised their rates like 6 times in a year. And I think that's totally legit. You know, if you are investing in your work and like providing better or faster or some type of more value with your services, why shouldn't your rate go up? You know, so I have no problem with that. But when I talk to some of my clients about it, they're like, oh, but like this proposal, it's been like kicking around for 9 months. They still haven't hired me. They want my rates from 2018. I'm like, no, like there has to be a timeline on that. You wouldn't go into Kmart and be like, hey, you had this sale 2 years ago. I would like that price, please. Come on, they'd laugh you out the door. So anyways, hello, Alonzo. How do you feel about wanting to learn an industry hands-on and free internships? Okay, I mean, I think people should pay interns. As a general rule, like they're doing work, they should get paid. You know, I get it if they're not getting paid at the value of like someone who has X amount of experience or whatever, but like, you know, I don't think that internships should be unpaid. Anybody who like works for me, like I pay them. And sometimes I'm like, maybe your rates are too low. And then I try to pay that, like, you know, it's part of like I guess the equity values that I have or whatever. But, you know, if you are, I would say it's your call, you know, if you have, tried to find ways where you could get paid at least something for the labor that you're doing while you're still learning, because there are things you're still offering, right, Alonzo? Like you're still bringing all the skills and expertise you have from whatever you have been doing before. You know, and students still like have that too, you know. The fact that you've been in school doesn't mean that you haven't been doing things that bring expertise to the table, your point of view, your ideas, your fresh take on things, being on committees, leadership thing, like student activism or student leadership, right? So I wouldn't like offer to do like a free internship unless it was the only way to go. And some industries, it is the only way to go. So I would ask around in that area that you're looking to break into, like, what's the norm? What can I expect? What's your advice for me trying to break into this area with the background that I do have, bringing what I do offer, and also understanding that I'm not like a seasoned person in this place. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. All right, so listen, I'm not sure. I was going to have Carla drop a poll in the chat to find out, but my question for you is, do you all want to meet next week? Like, is anyone going to tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern? We could do any number of things. We could continue going into another question that came up from today, one of those 5. We could just hang out. We could do like a live Q&A, and I could just do whatever questions come up from folks. We could talk business. I know a couple of people have requested topics that are related to small business startup and like dealing with challenges in business. So we could always do that too, if those folks want to come. Or, you know, maybe you're in the holiday mood. I totally get it. And you want to just be in January already before we come back. So, okay, it sounds like Lucic. Is that a yes for you want to meet next week? So just tell me in the chat, 12, put in 1223 or 16. And then I'll count up what people are voting for, and then that's when we will meet next. But we're pretty much getting to the time, so I'm going to play my little song here for you from the intro, which I don't know if what's happening. Oh, it's not playing. Very odd. Okay, well, I don't know what's happening with my sound over here, so just tell me when you want to meet again, 1223 or 16. Oh, great, Rebecca's doing massive scone bake. That's cool. I love it. I want to see the pictures on your IG for that. Everyone can follow Rebecca on Instagram if you're interested. Maybe if Rebecca's comfortable. But thank you all for coming. I'm going to say here. The next live is either going to be Wednesday, 1223 or 16. I don't know. Whatever you all vote for, put it in your calendars and look for the notification. I'll try to tag you all once we decide. Cool. Lucic is going for 1223. So maybe we'll just hang out and talk like, business stuff. 250 scones. Holy shit. That is a lot. That is a lot of scones. Okay. So that is incredible. Everybody follow Rebecca, at Rebecca Esther C on Instagram if you want. Thank you all for coming. Can I play you some music? Oh my God, I cannot. Let's see. Yes. Okay, it's working now. Just have to reload the page, and like we need to reload ourselves as we go from this year into 2021, right? Thank you, Lucic. Thank you, Rebecca, Alonzo, Ariana, Viana. Thank you for coming as always. Carla, I know you tried to get in, so thank you also. Natasha, who else do we have here? Did I hit everybody? Jen, thank you. Tiara, sorry we didn't get to talk too much, but I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you all for tuning into What Would Cynthia Do? Who else do I have to thank? Mark, thank you. Yeah, okay, so listen, tell your friends to join us next time. Looks like we are going to be here next week on the 23rd. It'll probably be pretty chill. So bring your questions. We'll probably also talk business. Tell everyone to come join future recordings of What Would Cynthia Do, and message me your topic requests. If there are specific things you want me to talk about more in the future, let me know. And I hear you, Viana, on that reflection workshop. I'm going to slow process that because that's how I roll as my introverted self. Thank you, Viana. Yes, check out the blog post. Embrace Change Out NYC is my website. The blog is right there. And feel free to scroll around. I have a lot of goodies on there. Thank you all for coming. Bye.